We are gathered here to fill you with fear and give you a treat for your ears as we invade your mind with our scary rhymes and some tales that can be gory. As you bear witness and sit here and listen to our poetic horror stories. Hello, my name is Mimi, and this is an incident that happened to me when I was 10. This is the story of how I was kidnapped, but ultimately escaped the Crooked Man dimension. Once upon a time, there was an old man that lived in an odd little house at the end of the street from me. His house was very old, and from a certain angle, it looked crooked and had a slight bit of a lean. We rarely see the old man leaving his house. Come to think about it, I never saw him out and about. But one day, as I was walking on the sidewalk, coming back from the corner store, suddenly, I heard an old man calling out for help. He sounded like he was in trouble. So I walked up, and his front door was open. The inside was completely dark. So I said,
"Hello?"
But no one answered. Plus there was no movement, no motions. So I turned around to leave. That's when I heard a voice say my name.
Mimi, don't leave. Please come inside. Please help me.
When I turned back around, there stood a very skinny, twisted and crooked man. Suddenly, he grabbed me and pulled me into his home by my hand. He introduced himself to me.
I am the crooked man with a crooked smile. I was born this way because of my crooked spine. Welcome to my crooked home. Now that you're here, why don't you stay for a while?
I was so afraid. All I could do was stand there with my eyes open big and wide.
I know you were wondering why you are here. Well, once you stepped into my home, you entered into a void. You are now in my crooked dimension.
This is just a friendly reminder to please like and comment to let us know how we are doing so far. We would love to hear from you all. And if you're new, please subscribe and become a part of the PHS crew. And we thank you.
I've been watching you as you walk by my home. I can see you just came back from the store. You must be on your way back home.
Yes, sir.
Mimi, do you like games?
Yes, of course.
Well, I wanted to play a crooked game, and if you win, I'll set you free from my crooked domain. What do you say?
I really need to get home. I really don't have time for a game. What if I say no? I don't want to play.
Then forever here you will stay. I have a crooked riddle you need to answer to leave. If you answer correctly, you will be set free. So listen closely and choose your answer very carefully.
It felt like my heart stopped and I couldn't breathe. I hate pop quizzes. He said,
Are you ready for my crooked riddle now?
Yes, I guess so. If this is the only way you will let me out.
I said with a scowl.
Good. Here's your question. I can run long and far. I can be captured in a jar. I can take the shape of anything at will. Whatever space that can be filled. I can be a liquid, solid, and when I'm heated up, I can evaporate and become air. I am everywhere. Everything on Earth that lives needs me to survive and to grow. Once I'm turned on, I run and I flow. What am I?
I thought about it for a moment. Then I answered,
You are water.
Yes, my riddle you answered correctly. Now, you have 3 doors from which you have to pick. Which one will set you free? Which one will it be?
What? This isn't fair. Why didn't you just tell me how to get out of here?
Tis, Mimi. Life isn't fair. Anyway, I can't. Even this dimension is confusing to me. Things here aren't straightforward. It's like my spine. Bent and curved.
Then he smiled at me crookedly. He stared at me very creepy. Suddenly, 3 doors appeared in front of me. I was hoping one would lead me back to my reality. I asked the crooked man.
There has to be some kind of clue that would let me know I'm choosing the right door.
The crooked man placed his finger on his cheek as he stared at me. Then he said,
Let me think. You know, what if my memory serves me? There is a key, but I don't know where it could be. Maybe you can help me search for it. It should open the right door so you can escape.
Remember, I said the outside of the crooked man house looked small, but the inside was enormous, twisted like a maze. It was weird and crazy. I thought to myself, this is going to be like searching for a needle in a haystack. Since this isn't my home, I don't know where to start at.
But not to worry. I will help you. Let's begin.
I didn't believe him, but I followed him anyway. But something was telling me he was going to lead me astray. We searched high and low, going from room to room, opening and closing doors. We searched his whole home. As we searched, we talked a bit, and he told me he is very lonely because he lives alone. He has no kids of his own. I asked him,
Have you been married before?
No. I guess I never met the right one. So I never had kids. No daughter. No son. It's only me.
I started to feel really sad for him, honestly. That is until he said,
Mimi, if we don't find the key, then you can stay here with me. I will treat you like my daughter. We would become a family. Then I would no longer be lonely. This would make me so very happy.
I'm sorry you are lonely, but I need to go home. My mom is probably worried that I haven't come yet from the store. My family would miss me terribly. Now, let's concentrate. Where could the key be?
I could tell the crooked man was upset, and this isn't the answer he wanted to hear. But I had to tell him the truth. I didn't want to stay here. He crookedly smiled at me, and then he said,
Okay, Mimi.
Suddenly, when he turned his head swiftly away from me, that's when I noticed something shiny around his neck. It was the key. I said,
You have the key! You've been hiding it away from me!
He looked at me in astonishment. Then he said,
Yes, you caught me. I had the key to the door this whole time.
So you have been lying to me. You deceived me. You could have set me free and sent me back to reality.
Yes, but it's because I wanted you to stay. Mimi, it's been so long since I had company. It's been nice talking to you, and I decided I'm not going to let you leave. You will stay here with me forever.
Never! You cannot keep me here against my will. I answered your stupid riddle correctly. This is not fair.
I told you once before, life isn't fair. This is just the way it is.
Suddenly, the Crooked Man's limbs started to crack and pop as he stood straight up. I swear to you, he had to be about 12 feet tall. Then he removed the key from his neck. He then stretched out his arm to throw it into a deep, dark pit that just appeared out of nowhere. I ran over towards him as I screamed out,
No! You have to let me go!
but he just stared as he smiled at me crookedly, and then he let go of the key as it fell from his hand towards the pit. But I was determined to get out of here. So when I got close to the pit, I jumped for the key as it was falling, tumbling down into the darkness. The Crooked Man reached out, grabbed me as he caught me by my hand. Then he pulled me back towards him. Then he placed me down gently as he shook his head. Then he said,
Good try, Mimi. But without the key, you will never leave. I win.
I looked up at him with a shit-eating grin and said,
No. Actually, I win.
as I dangled the key in front of him. Then forcefully I pushed him into the pit. He looked mortified as he fell backwards into the deep, dark abyss. I ran back to the doors and used the key on them all, till I found the right one. I was so happy to be free and back to reality. I cried tears of happiness as I ran all the way home, not daring to look back, only moving forward. This incident happened to me 8 years ago. I'm 18 now. I'm a young adult. This is a cautionary tale for kids to beware, and not just walk up to anyone's home that is asking for help, especially if you are by yourself. Try and find an adult that you can trust, that can help, or call 911. I was lucky. This I know for sure. As for the Crooked Man, his house still stands, but no one on our street ever saw him again.